Just start with your thoughts in the game?
I thought we got off to a great start. Tonight, something that we've been needing. We've been kind of starting slow and having to battle our way back. I thought that we got up 10-2 right out of the gate. Made some huge shots, but as the game played out, then the first half unfortunately went in with a 2-point deficit. Wind up allowing them to score 7 straight trips up the floor. They finished strong on the offensive end. We didn't get stops, and then on the offensive end of the floor, we didn't have the flow that we started the game with. In the second half, I thought we did a great job of coming back out, playing with the energy at the pace that we needed there in the second half. And the game, I thought, was great in the battle, but about the last 4 or 5 minutes, I thought we were able to really gain control. Knocking down shots, executing, and then on the defensive end of the floor, we were able to change our defense up a little bit. That riled them, and they didn't make baskets. They shot a low percentage, but we only gave up 1 offensive rebound there in the second half. So overall, I thought it was a real positive and big win for us tonight.
You just touched on that last 5 minutes. How important was it to see that killer instinct out of the guys?
Oh, it was big because they're a team that they like to kind of control the tempo, and they can get into the clock and they can get into the gaps and drive, and did a great job of standing between them and the basket, and then we were able to get to their shooters and high hand those guys and forced them to take some tough shots and lower percentage shots. First half they hit those shots against us, and that's not, some guys that weren't shooting a great percentage wind up knocking down shots, and that was breaks, and a much better job in the second half.
Coach, talk about being able to extend the lead from the free throw line when you needed to, when they kind of like closed the gap.
Well, it was huge, and I thought Jeremy Combs stepped up tonight, and he was one of those guys that made some big free throws for us, and he's down there in the war zone in the paint and where they're bumping and getting hit, and he was able to finish at the free throw line, and that's really important for us. The other night I think we may have missed 11 free throws, which I think is a big difference in the basketball game, and tonight I thought it was a big difference in the game because we were able to execute from the line.
The other big thing about that, being able to forget that game before, move forward, and then use that as a positive and all, and just.
Well, I'm just glad I didn't coach football, because you always got to wait a week after games, and we usually have a couple of 2 or 3 games maybe in a week, at least 2 a week, and it's always great. So you have a great opportunity to bounce back sometime after setbacks. And so after a setback just on Saturday, for the guys to come back tonight, I think it says a lot about their character and taking positive steps, especially playing without one of their top guns in Trayvon Reed. It's been extremely tough. It's been different, whatever for us, having them all doing our non-conference schedule. Only 2 games in the conference, and then to be playing without him. But I think our guys are taking some positive steps and making some positive strides right now.
Can you somewhat speak on Trayvon's return?
Well, we're hopeful. He's pretty much really day-to-day, and so we really don't know when he will return. We were hoping that we would have him this weekend, so we will look and see how this week plays out and see how active he'll be able to respond in terms of practice and the doctors and the trainers, and when they give us the okay and the thumbs up, he'll hit the floor again. But until then, his health is the most important thing, whatever, for us. And as a basketball team, we've just got to be able to really battle and continue to grow without him. And then when we get him back, it's going to, I think, will make us a better team, because I think these guys that are in that position are getting valuable experience, so we'll be deeper in the post when he does return.
In that same vein, Combs shot 5 for 5 tonight. How has he stepped up with Trayvon out?
Well, he's been terrific. I mean, he's had games where he's had double-doubles, and he makes big plays. And again, the other night, unfortunately, his free throws didn't go down, but the rest of his game was good because he plays with great energy. He defends in the post, rebounds in the post, and he certainly can score there. So he's certainly a valuable part for us, and has really been stepping up and has taken his game to another level with more responsibility with Trayvon being out.
Justin, minutes to his double-double tonight is what you call efficiency. Talk about how that was another positive.
That's huge for us, because again, when you're down a post guy and you have to come in and play a very important role, and he's been banged up and he's actually been out of practice, but for him to bounce back and have a game like that for us tonight and finishing with a double-double with the minutes that he plays, he's extremely efficient tonight, and really on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively for us, because we had matchups that were important that he had to really guard on the perimeter a lot.
Piggybacking off of Brandon's question, whether it be Eden or anyone, who have you seen maybe stepping up in light of Trayvon being out?
Well, I think it's actually by committee. You know, I think all of our guys really have to step up. Even our guards maybe have to play a certain role in terms of offensively, where Trayvon used to be able to give us something because he was averaging close to a double-double for us. So we've got to make sure that we get our scoring from other places, other areas on the floor, and guys have been able to do that. But I tell you, when you take a guy like Eden, who just became available for us, we weren't sure we were going to have to play him the extended minutes that we're playing now, but he's certainly been thrown and thrust into the fire right off the bat in these extended minutes. It couldn't be wear and tear really on him, but it's a great learning experience for us and for him, because the extended minutes that he's playing is preparing his body and getting him ready. So as we continue in conference play, you do get Trayvon back. I think that's a huge advantage for us.
You guys are on the road this weekend with Pine Bluff and Mississippi Valley. What are some things that you feel like the guys need to tweak from this weekend that they can apply to next weekend?
We have a lot that we have to make sure that we can continue to work on both ends of the floor. Offensively, we got to continue to be more in sync and making sure that we're hitting on all cylinders. But we're certainly not there yet. And as you can see at the end of the half, we weren't clicking like we needed to, and we've got to be closer to that. On the defensive end, we can't allow opponents to score 7 straight possessions like that. We've got to be better. So there are a lot of areas we've got to continue to work and make sure that we clean up, and we've just got to understand that we've got to take one game at a time, because each one of them will be extremely important and weigh heavily for us, and both of them are really good and talented teams, and anytime you're playing on the road, it's always difficult.
All right, Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. Thank you.